This is TOBYRRUF, a 40-foot, self-sufficient bluewater cruiser built in 1990 by renowned Dutch shipbuilder Jack Hofland in Western Australia. She's an Adams 40, one of the most tried and tested ocean-going designs in this size range. But with plenty of custom features and carefully overbuilt details, TOBYRRUF stands out as one of the finest examples of this renowned bluewater cruising design and a true one of a kind. She's a cutter-rigged monohull with an indestructible 6mm steel hull, though most pass her off as a fiberglass thanks to her beautifully round hull and elegant lines. With a full cruising keel, lead ballast and a keel-stepped mast, seriously oversized rigging, and completely insulated from the waterline up in closed-cell spray foam insulation, she's built to sail anywhere on the planet, from the tropics to the colder latitudes. When we bought her, we saw her potential to be one of the most capable bluewater cruisers sailing the oceans today, and has already more than proven herself, with her original owners completing a circumnavigation over 8 years aboard. However, this tried and tested cruiser was a little tired. She'd been left neglected for a few years, and we made it our goal to bring her back to what she was built for, crossing oceans and reaching far-flung places. It's taken a massive investment of time, money, and more than a little blood, sweat and tears over a long refit and complete systems upgrade in the hot and humid Cairns in far north Queensland. But we're really proud of how we've been able to give new life to this amazing sailing vessel. We've stripped and upgraded almost every system, made major improvements, refinements, and added new living comforts to upgrade her into a modern, world-class cruiser with the bones of an indestructible classic. Fixing things in beautiful places?
Yeah, I like it.
After nearly a year of living aboard and working on the refit, we're cruising through the Torres Strait on our way to Darwin, and eyes set beyond the horizon. But now with a fair bit of time on our hands, as we wait for our buddy boat Malacca to receive a parcel in these remote islands, we thought it would be the perfect time to show you around our home on the sea. Okay, so welcome to my favourite part of the boat, which is the galley. I spend a lot of time here. I'll take you through a few things of like where everything is and how I manage it. So we have a pretty big sink, which I love, enough for washing up. We've got a freezer, a chest freezer. So we have all of our frozen food. We have a big chest fridge, which has a basket, so side to side. It's a little bit empty at the moment, but really love these because you can fit so much in them. Put everything on here, and that's also bench space, which is good. We've got our oven. I can undo a little latch and we've got movement, so I can be cooking here whilst there's swell outside and we've got no problems. We have our lasagna. It's perfect. And we have our area over here. We've got our smoothie machine, our coffee grinder, our coffee machine, and we've also made it so that it can be slid out for changing and refilling and getting behind. So that's pretty cool. Very impressed with that. We love coffee on here, so it was a must. And if we have a look in here, I'll go down to our storage. So it's pretty simple. I've just made some light cloth covers just so that we didn't see inside. So we just got containers or like small drawers for like spices and things like that, honeys, and obviously our thousands of curries, which we love. And it just kind of hides a little bit without having to see everything, so everything looks nice. My pots and pans will fit in here, and yeah, it's a really good storage, so I'm very happy with that. And
tons of storage, and everything's
yeah,
kind of packed in really well, so nothing really moves when we're at sea or when we're getting swell from the beam. But
yeah, nothing has fallen out, and we've been in some pretty rough conditions, so we're very happy with that. And we'll come out. We've got our nets, which I generally like to fill. At the moment we're running low because we are close to shore, so we've just been going to the shops every second or third day, so we don't really need to stock up. We have all my sauces and everything down in here, which I really like. It's very easy to grab and I don't have to open cupboards and all of that, which is, it's been really good. Having this, I haven't really seen anything like this much, so it was actually nice to have all of this and have a good system, because you need your sauces. And I really love the way that the galley ties in with the saloon area. So when we have guests over or people or Ollie sitting in here, it feels like I'm still a part of everything. Everything is, yeah, open and together, which is really nice. And yeah, it just feels like a really big open space instead of being cramped into one corner, which some other layouts have. Okay, so now I'll take you through to the saloon. So this is our table. You can either sit like this, or if we have more people, we generally put it up like this. So we've just got some legs which go under this, both sides. And this makes our seating area much bigger, which is really nice. We have our little secret wine compartment, which is getting low. But yeah, that's nice to have in there, so we don't have wine bottles going everywhere under passage. And around here, we do have ample storage behind the lounges. So I've got like all the sauces, like flour, everything that's kind of not needed right now, we'll have behind the lounges. So this is, it's kind of like food storage, and we have more here. So yeah, more than enough room for storage. We've also got under the cushions, so under here we have a lot of stuff that's for outside, but it works well. We've had enough room for storage, so we allowed for this larger space to be like spares, which has worked quite well for weight.
And yeah, part of having all the weight distribution on the boat, you really want to keep all the heavy items like you know, like spare chain or shackles, spare pieces of metal or anything like that that we might need. We try and keep all that heavy stuff quite low, including our can storage, like canned goods is all stored under the bilge, which Hayley will show you.
Yep. So if we get under our floor, we have all of our cans here, which actually goes back to the other side. So we've got two sides, which is very nice. Yeah, you have to take off all the food labels for cans because cockroaches love to live under these. So yeah, that's a must when we're sailing. No cardboard or wrappers. So this is all taken off and just like named on top, so peaches. And it makes it easy. You just come in and you're able to read from the top what we want. And I try to keep this stocked up. So we've got this side. We've also got, here's another compartment for storage and food. All those super dupers. And yeah, lots and lots and lots of space for storage. As you can see, I popped this side up. We've got more cans under here. So, and it continues down on underneath the table on the opposite side. So we have a lot of storage under the floor, which is amazing. And here on this side we have a lounge, but this also can double as a sea berth, and we can have lee cloth from here, and that just allows for overnight crossings or anything if we need to get out quickly. Someone can sleep. It also doubles as more food storage, so all under here we've got more food, big storage compartments. We are very remote at times, like right now we're in the Torres Strait at the very tip of Australia, so we haven't actually needed to really go to the shops at all for the last 2 months. We had enough food on board to sustain ourselves, which is really good. Like having this amount of storage for food definitely pays off. It's very, very good. We've done a lot of work on TOBYRRUF. A lot of the work was behind the scenes, behind walls, engine room, which Ollie's going to go over a little bit later. But for the visuals, we had a lot of help from Ollie's mum, Caroline, which was great. She was able to sew all of our cushions. I couldn't have done it, so she did so well, which we're very grateful for. And Ollie and his dad had put all new vinyl down on the floor, so this is all new as well. And we also painted all of the walls with 2-pack epoxy, which was a very long process and a very smelly process, but definitely worth it. We find like with the 2-pack inside, if there's any marks, they come off extremely easy, which is a bonus. Now I'll take you through here. So here we have our four-peak cabin. It's on a little bit of a smaller scale, but currently it's being used for our like storage. So we've got more cans of food in here. We have all of our net up the top, which I also use for fruit and vegetables. It's nice and dark. We've got our 2 paddle boards up in this corner and our sewing machine. We've also got this cupboard which has all of our sails and extra backpacks and sail bags and material, which is really handy. It's a lot of room in there. We also have down here behind our nets, we've got our tools and our shoes, and in here in this black case, all of our charts, our paper charts, which has been really good to have as backup. Everything's technology these days, but having the paper is always necessary. So I was actually gifted that from my uncle Andrew, so very grateful for that. All of the way up to Darwin we've got paper charts covered, which is great.
All right, so in here we have a bit of, I have some tool bag storage, some spares and tools and stuff like that. Usually we tie these all in when we're on passage or out at sea. And this battery here is for the windlass, and the chain gets dropped into here. So we have a interior chain locker, which I do really prefer because it really does keep things quite tidy. So moving into the chain locker here, the chain falls, we've got the windlass there, and the chain falls down into here and stored securely, nice and low. In here we've added these I think they're called like dry deck material to keep the chain off the steel, which is working really well. It allows the steel to breathe. And yeah, the whole system here works really well. We're able to store some spare hoses and stuff in there. Probably going to make a small cover for that area there.
Moving on to the head, and this is what you call a bathroom on a boat. Step in. This is a wet head, so meaning we can have showers and it's completely waterproof. This was something that we did when we bought the boat because we had very limited plumbing and water systems set up, but now we have everything we need. So hot water, and we can have a shower standing here. So it's more than enough room for showers, which I'm very grateful for, because being salty is nice, but it's not enjoyable. So we've got our shower. We've also got our Liveaboard toilet, which we really like. It's old school, but it works, and that's the main thing. A lot of these new toilets that are electronic, everyone that lives on a boat knows that these things don't play nice, and a lot of things, yeah, toilet breaks, or you're always doing toilet jobs. We've had no issues, and this is doing really well. We've also got our wet cupboard, so this is also fully waterproof. And we have our life jackets, spare life jackets in here. I just use like my clothes hanger and things that goes in here. This is also our holding tank for the toilet. Fits nicely in here, which Ollie and his dad hooked up, and it works really well.
Obviously you got to deal with human waste on board a boat, so I think this is probably the best system there is. You flush the toilet with salt water, so you're not wasting any fresh water from that process. Then the waste comes up and fills into this machine here, which is run on 12 volt, and it uses electricity and the salt in the water to create, to basically treat the waste inside this unit, and the stuff that comes up outside discharges back into the sea is pretty much the equivalent of salt water in the end, because all the bacteria is gone, all the smell's gone. It's a really good system. It works quite well. There's a macerator in there as well. So basically everything that comes out is already treated. It's much better than filling up a big, you know, like a big black water tank full of human waste and discharging that at sea, which is what most ships do, and it's just the reality of life at sea. But I really like this system. It's really environmentally friendly and it seems to work really well. So for water on board, we've got a 160 litre tank here, and we've also got a 200 litre stainless steel water tank, which is underneath the floor. And then we also have a Spectra 380C watermaker, which is completely rebuilt. It's the equivalent of a I think it's called the Cape Horn Extreme, but we're able to make a lot of water. It's about 50 litres an hour on a 12 volt system, which is really good. It's really energy efficient. We're never running low on water. We usually run it about an hour a day, so just over 50 litres, 50 to 60 depending on the salinity, which is plenty enough for 2 people to shower, wash up, cook, drinking water, everything like that. So we're fully self-sufficient for water. So here's the watermaker panel, and we've done all the plumbing so that we can control everything from here, and we can check the pressure gauge. Basically the whole system works by forcing pressure through a really high pressure membrane, and then you get reverse osmosis, and it basically just lets any fresh water through, and all the salinity, all the salt water gets discharged back into the sea. So we can check the flow there, we can check the pressure, we can also divert this, and we've set it up to a freshwater flush, so every single time we run it, we flush it with the fresh water that we've just made, just to keep everything nice and clean. And before we do, we usually test the water quality, because we've got a valve here to click over to sample, and to sample the water will just come out here for the product, and then we'll test with a salinity testing stick to make sure the water's good before we divert it back to our tanks. So this is the chart table. This is kind of like my office, and where we plan the routes and look over our electronic charts and stuff like that. So from here I can see everything, all the systems on the boat. You know, we've got our batteries, our solar system, our wind generator, our alternator power, everything from the electrical side, as well as our fluids like our fresh water and our diesel and our fuel, and all that sort of stuff can be monitored from this screen, which is really good. Everything is here in one little location. And we can also see, you know, like temperatures. So we've got cabin temperatures, temperature in the engine room, even down to like the fridge and the freezer temperatures and stuff like that. So everything's kind of integrated into this one little spot, which is really nice, and it's really good to have like a top level overview of what's going on in the boat and all the systems in one location right here. And we've also got our nav panel here, so all of our navigation lights, our exterior lights, you know, like deck lights, everything like that here from right here at the chart table, which is nice. And one of the biggest jobs probably that we did when we were refitting TOBYRRUF, we've installed automatic bilge pumps in every single watertight compartment. So in total we've got 5 electric bilge pumps on the boat in every single compartment. Some are bigger than the others. For example, we've got this high water one, which can pump out some ridiculous amounts of water if we ever take on water. We've also got a manual bilge pump in here, which is the original whale pump that the original owners had as their pump to sail around the world in. We've got that, and we've also got a cockpit mounted manual bilge pump. So we've probably got more bilge pumps than required, but you know, it's a really nice peace of mind to know that we've got that. And each of those are tied onto an alarm system, so if there's ever any water in any compartment for any reason, we'll know straight away with the audible alarms. So we can also see which compartment has water in it. Alright, I'll show you inside the engine room, which is where all of our systems live. So you can get to the engine room by having to take the stairs off, but we've got 2 other points that we can access. One which is through the head, which is the main door here, which is the one I usually enter. And we've also got a spot here in the hallway where Haley showed you the storage. I'll show you what that looks like. It's really good to be able to get to the engine from 3 points, like 360 degrees access to all the different parts, which is really important. So I usually come in through here to the engine room. It's a little bit tight, the space, but once you're in there, there's heaps of room. So it's like really unique to have a space like this on board a sailing boat, but it really makes a ton of difference being able to come in here and maintain everything. So we've got an old Perkins 4108, which is a very reliable diesel engine. We've upgraded the exhaust system. We've completely serviced it. She's running really well. Obviously we try and get around as much by sail as we can. It's really nice to be able to rely on her when you need to. So we've got an old Coursemaster 500 autopilot, which is probably about 20 years old now, but works amazingly well. It's really nice to have a really solid, reliable autopilot that we can run on 12 volt almost indefinitely with our electrical system. So it's really nice to be able to rely on that. These two big hoses here, one on this side, on the starboard side, one on the port side, they're our cockpit drains, which are really oversized, which is nice. That's one of the features of the boat that I really like, because if you ever get any waves coming in from the side into the cockpit, all that water will rush straight back out to sea really quickly. You don't have to wait for that to drain. So this is the electrical side of the engine room. We've used the system from Victron, which wasn't the cheapest system, but I think these days we do rely on a lot of our systems rely on electricity, so we want everything to be as reliable as possible. We've got 1000 amp hours of 12 volt power, and we've got a total of 1.5 kilowatts of solar, so that's enough to keep those bad boys charged up almost every day. We're not really checking the power usage as much. With the combination of the engine to charge the batteries and the wind generator, it's more than enough power to keep us going and living quite comfortably. We insulated the entire engine room area, so we keep all the heat and the sound inside here, and it's ventilated through as well, so we can get rid of the heat, but at least it doesn't come into the living area, into the galley and the cabin. Unfortunately, the previous owners didn't replace the shaft seal, which is where the propeller comes out of the boat, when they probably should have, which caused a lot of water to come in here over a long period of time. So we did have to replace quite a few of the systems, like the engine mounts, because they had corroded. We had to replace the steering hoses and a bunch of other things, but basically now with this new PSS shaft seal, there's no water coming in whatsoever. This, as you can see, this place is quite spotless and very dry, which is the way an engine room and a bilge should be on a boat.
So here we have pretty much a queen bed, more than enough room for two, and we've got all of storage behind our pillows here. So these are all cupboards which fit so many clothes all the way along. We have our big cupboard here which actually fits our inverter. So we have our a few jackets here and things, and then to the side it goes down. You'll see the inverter in here. And under the bed we have like two huge drawers which fit. Like, this is all of our sewing stuff for our sails. So here we have access to the steering. We've also got a hatch here which we can fit through if we need to. All up we have 4 port lights. So here 2 are facing outside and 2 are actually facing into our cockpit. One good thing about having such a big electric system is that we can have a full TV inside the boat. One thing is you do have to crawl out. Here is where we steer. Standing up behind here. More than enough space. It's a really wide space, which we love. And 2 long seats, which is easy enough room to lay down.
This awesome cover for the cockpit area. So we've decided to be able to make it a full enclosure. So when it is really rough or wet, super windy, we're able to like transform this into a completely sheltered room. Usually we have these zipped off, but at the moment we've been in Anchorage here for a couple of weeks, so we usually put this off. This clips off as well. This is a big window, so even if it is raining you can see out full 360 degree view from the center cockpit. And that was from a lady named Talia in Cairns. She was awesome, she helped us out with that. So I'll show you what it's like from the steering position back here. So stepping out onto the deck, so we've got Haley up front. We've got a stay sail at the front here, so 2 head sails. The great thing about the stay sail is that it's very small, so we can use it. It's pretty much the perfect dimension, the position for a storm sail as well, so we use that in really heavy weather. And at the front here, at the moment we're running a jib, but we've got a large genoa down below as well. The mainsail is rigged up as a furling mainsail in boom furler. But unfortunately when we got the new sail made up, the company wasn't able to fully integrate the furling system. They made a couple of mistakes and we really didn't want to waste the entire season after all the hard work. So we decided to convert it temporarily just into like a stacking main when we raise and lower the sail, and we sewed up this kind of temporary stack pack, which is good because it keeps it out of the sun as well, and it's been doing really well. But once we get to Darwin, we're going to convert this back into a furling main. There's a lot of benefits to that. It's just so much easier to reef. We've got 2 winches up here, one on this side as well, shrouds here, really oversized rigging. And the great thing about a steel boat is that everything is welded onto the deck. So the chain plates are welded here, and they're an integral part of the boat. There's no way these are ever popping off or cracking. We have these running backstays. So when we set the stay sail, we usually got to set these back as well.
We're currently babysitting. This is Frankie. He looks cute and he's very naughty.
We've got our main windlass here. We've got a cover on that. This is an old Muir, I think that's how you pronounce it. Electric windlass, 12 volt. We've got 80 meters of stainless steel chain, and that's coming up to a really solid stainless steel bow roller, and we're using a snubber line, which we usually to take off the strain from the windlass here. We can let the chain down just from this position up here, which is really handy. We never really have to hand winch it, but we can if we need to. So going aft, there's really solid stainless steel arch as well, which is great because we can have extra storage up here with these nets. We can store long poles like boat hooks and stuff up here, and of course it serves as a good space for extra solar panels. One of the big projects we had was installing these davits. We have these welded up in cans as well. Originally the boat didn't have davits as part of the design, which is basically arms out here so you can pick up the dinghy. Having to hoist the dinghy onto the deck and strap it down every single time, it wasn't great. So it's much nicer just to be able to pick it up here and have it stored in the aft. Thanks for watching our boat tour video of TOBYRRUF.